Can you look at the stream to check if it's okay? Alright guys, we're just doing a few quick technical checks to make sure things are okay. I've fiddled with these settings, which should mean that there is less of a lag. Also, so that you guys should be able to hear me through both of your speakers or headphones. And finally, I got rid of a feedback problem. But because of fixing these problems, I can't actually hear myself. So I need you guys to let me know if you can hear me fine. Okay, so please let me know, guys, if you can hear me clearly. Can you guys hear me at the moment? Can you hear me clearly? Please let me know in chat if you can. You can hear me fine. Awesome. It's not too soft. It's not too high. Alright. I have the A-OK that things are going, so we are going to just start. I'm a little sad that I don't see Phil in chat yet. Breaks my heart. But I'm sure he will say hi soon enough. For those of you guys who are here, we are going to be looking at task 1 today. Alright, so thank you guys for coming. Let's just have a quick overview of what we'll be doing. First of all, still no webcam. I'm sorry guys, I know you guys want to see my pretty face, but not today. Probably tomorrow. This is something that will make Phil happy. I'm going to be doing the live stream tomorrow as well, so he will get to take a break. If he was in chat, I'm sure I'd see lots of happy faces, but not yet. Second, we are going to be doing task 1, just an overview of the differences between general training and academic. So far, we've mostly been focusing on academic, but because that's what most people need, but a few people still need general training. So that's what we will be doing today. After that will be common problems with general training, going over the essay, looking at the model essay, and finally, this is for everyone, we're going to be brainstorming ideas, both for task 1 general training, but also for task 2. Now, we will only be brainstorming ideas if you guys are active in chat, so make sure to say hello when you join and answer the questions and add comments as the live stream goes. This works best if you guys are interacting. That's how you learn best. Okay, so task 1 essays. There is an academic version and a general training version. If you are going abroad for university, you will probably need the academic version. You need to write a report, so in a report format that is describing data. This data could be some pictures, this data could be a line chart or a pie chart. When you're writing this way, it's very important that you follow the format and you use no I, no Y, and no conclusion. This means when you have the academic exam, you do not say your opinions in task 1, you do not say why the data is the way it is in task 1, and you have no inclusions in task 1 of the academic IELTS exam. And it is 150 words. Now, general training is usually for people who are looking to immigrate. So if you're planning on moving to Canada for work, or to live with family, or to move, you're probably going to need general training. This is also true for Australia and the UK. So in this one, you're going to be writing a letter. So you will use the letter format, which is a little bit different, which is a lot different from the report format. So it's important that you know both. All right. Continuing on, general training task 1 problems. A lot of people have trouble because they don't use the correct format. When you're writing a letter, you should have 3 to 4 paragraphs, and each one should be about one idea. Each one has a purpose. We'll be going over those together. Answering all parts of the prompt. Now, this is important for task 1 of general training. Every question that they give you, you need to answer. The prompt is going to have maybe 3 or 4 questions, and you need to answer them all. Next up, a lot of people have trouble because they don't use the correct register. What that means is you don't use the right tone. You will write a different letter to a friend than you will to a boss or to the local council or government. By the way, just a little bit of vocab for you guys. The local council, the local is the same thing as saying the local government. In the UK, they call it the council. In the US, we just call it the local government. It can be confusing if you don't know the UK terminology. So it could be formal, semi-formal, or informal. If you're talking to your friends, you're going to be informal. If you're talking to your boss, you're going to be semi-formal because you know them, but you still need to be respectful. And if you're sending a letter to your government, you will definitely have to be formal. So it's very important that you recognize which kind you need. I see a lot of people just jumped in. Feel free to say hello, guys. Thank you for coming. Next up, the biggest problem students have with task 1 of general training is brainstorming. They don't know what to write. And this is why, for lower level students, this is why I personally think that the general training task 1 is more difficult than the academic task 1. In the academic task 1, if you learn the correct sentence frames, it's very easy. If you learn how to write one line chart, you can write every line chart. If you learn how to write one pie chart, you can write any pie chart. Unfortunately, with general training task 1, they give you a situation and you need to be creative. You need to think of creative answers, and there's no prompting. It all comes from your head. So we are going to be doing a bit of brainstorming at the end for both general training task 1 and for task 2. Task 2 is the same for both academic IELTS and general training IELTS. So remember, guys, feel free to please stay until the end to do the brainstorming practice. All right, so if you guys are doing general training, please let me know in the chat. And if you are doing academic English, please let me know in the chat. We also will be putting a community post up asking the same question. So let's jump into the essay. Like I said, we will be doing brainstorming for task 1 general training and also for task 2, which is the same for general training and academic. So everyone will be able to learn something from this part. But before we do that, we need to actually look at the essay. This was submitted by Theo, and he was brave enough to send us an essay. Remember, you guys can also send us essays, and we will look over them for you. Please send it to corrections@IELTSGrind.com, and you may be the next person we talk about. So again, thank you, Theo, for submitting this essay. Now, for his task achievement, he got a 7. It was a little bit dangerous because it was a little close to a 6, but he deserved the 7 that he had. So, to get task achievement in general training task 1, you need to answer all 3 of these questions in your essay, in your 150 words. Now, you will need to say why you want to do it. In this case, a party that you want to organize. So this is also important. you haven't made the party yet. It is a party that you want to do it. So when you're saying why, your boss hasn't said okay yet. So you kind of need to persuade him to have the party. This is what you're going to be needing to do in one of your paragraphs. Second, you need to say where and when. So these are general details about the party, a location and a time and a date. Make sure you have all three. And then the arrangements you will have to make. Again, this is the grammar that you'll be using, the future. You haven't done it yet, so don't use present or past. Use future. Or a conditional, but we'll get to that in the model essay. So the reason why he got a 7 was because he did answer all of these, and he answered them pretty well. The reason why he was getting close to that 6 was because there was one part of his essay where his vocabulary mistake made it so that his meaning wasn't clear. And normally that's enough to drop someone all the way down to a 5, because there was a part that they couldn't understand, and so it drops down that far. However, the rest of his essay was so strong that it made up for that. You are allowed to make mistakes here and there. If you consistently make the mistake, that's what brings you down to a 5. Or if it's a big enough mistake where you really can't understand the main idea there. Anyway, green is good, orange we need to talk about, red is bad. So, his intro paragraph is great. He says who he is, which is not a question that was asked, but it's something that he needs to do because he's talking to a different department. So he did a really good thing here. He's not... Oh, wait. He needs to talk to his manager. Oh no. He's describing who he is in a different department, but he needs to be writing to his manager. Maybe this is a 6 after all. Oh, the drama. This is why it's really important to make sure you catch all of the main parts of the prompt. So, it was good that he was saying who he was because he was talking to someone he didn't know. He's talking to a manager of a different department, which is a problem. So sad, Theo, almost. Writing to inform you, this is something that you should generally do in your emails. You need to say why you are writing to them if it's a formal or professional email. This is one of the 2 problems that he had about the event details of the head graphic designer. He's saying who the party is for, but he's not actually saying what the party is about. Is this a retirement party? Is this a promotional party? Because he didn't say that, it's not clear. Unfortunately, the more I look at this, the more I'm thinking that this is not, in fact, a 7. I'm sorry. It is a 6. So sad. Okay. And again, the reason is he's not addressing the fact that it is to his manager. And down here, he's not saying what kind of party it is. We know who it's for, but we do not know that if it's a retirement party or some other party. This is a pretty big problem. And again, I'm pretty sure this is just because of a vocabulary problem. He's not realizing that he needs to add this information due to a lack of vocabulary knowledge, which drops him down. The second one is the grammar of the sentence is wrong, which makes the meaning a little bit hard to understand, since I had collaborated with him on a number of successful projects. That's how you need to fix it. With him on a number of successful projects. I had collaborated. That doesn't make sense as it is. You need to give the other words there. Okay, so just to make sure that it's clear, I am going to add some words here to show how to fix it. And we'll use blue because that's prettier. Making the vocabulary mistake makes the meaning of the sentence a little off, which is why it is read. On a number of successful projects, and I share a cordial relationship with him. Nice. The second part is great. So he's saying, this is the reason for his action. I wish to spearhead this celebration as a token of my appreciation for his remarkable contribution in our sector. This is great. This is fantastic. He also says exactly where it's going to be, on which floor of their building, the date, and the time. Great, great, great. He answers why he wants to do it. He says when and where, and he's concise about it. Now, the next part, to avoid he's saying why he's making this decision, he will solicit pledges of food from different offices. This is the main idea of the sentence is great, but this from different offices, this is weird because it's supposed to be to his manager. So if we didn't have the manager part here, this would be fantastic. Basically, he's saying he's sending out a message to the different departments asking them for food. If it didn't say your manager, it would definitely be a 7. Ah, so close. In addition, I will also be coordinating with information technology team for the provision of different multimedia devices. Now, again, this is very close to being right. His problem is that we wouldn't say different multimedia devices, we would say what they were. We would say a projector for movies, a stereo system for the dance component of the party, or for dancing during the party. Because he's very vague here, it's very strange. It's a strange thing to say. Okay. Finally, this was just a minor thing. If you were writing a real letter, yes, adding your signature would be great, but because this is going to be not a real paper letter, you don't really need your signature there. You can just sign off Theo Smith, not his real name, and marketing assistant. This was a nice touch. This is what you would do in a real corporate email by saying your position, which is actually, I'm going to highlight it in green because it is a very good thing. All right, 1 second, guys. I'm getting a message. Alright guys, sorry about that short break. Thanks for staying with me. I got a scary message from Phil saying that it was not working, but it was. He lied to me. Anyway, also let me know in the chat if everything is okay, if you can't see something, if it's too small, or if the quality of the stream isn't great. I'm using a different level for the stream. I'm using low latency in order to make it so that it's more responsive. I'm able to see your chat real time instead of having that delay. So unfortunately that may lower the quality a little bit. If you can't read it or something like that, please let us know so that we can fix it. Alright, anyway, I highlighted this in green because this is what you would do in a real email in an office setting. But that's a nice little touch. Alright, cohesion and coherence is a 7. He uses a lot of good cohesive devices, these words that are connecting his ideas together in his sentences. The structure of his essay is on point. Again, we talked about this before. Because of his vocabulary, it made it so that it was a little bit... It made it so that he didn't actually say that what kind of party it was, or that it even was a party. And so that hurt him both in task achievement and cohesion and coherence, because you're not able to follow it as well. Okay. Oh, and chat is live. I'm sorry, my tablet was giving me some problems, so I was not actually seeing the live chat. I can see it now, so keep typing. Hi. Alright, so this is actually a pretty good cohesive essay. The ideas fit together well. Again, the same problem with task achievement. The fact that he used very vague wording, different multimedia devices, he should have been specific. The flow of this part of the essay is not so great, but still overall it's a 7 for sure. Okay, next up we have his lexical resource, his vocabulary, and this is where he really shines. He was close to an 8. He was using all of the words correctly and on point, but because of those two mistakes that we talked about before, using the wrong collocation here with collaborated and not understanding this part, and this not being specific, it dropped him to a 7. It was really close to an 8. This is really close to what a native speaker would be saying. So you gotta watch out for those mistakes. Okay, yours sincerely is how you should end a letter. And then please do not hesitate to reach out to me through my mobile number. This is a great set phrase that you will often see in this kind of writing. All right. Grammar, same thing. We already fixed the mistake with collaborated, but really that was the only grammar mistake. I want to point out some things that showcase that he's an 8. Okay, I'm writing to inform you about. This is fantastic, done exactly as a native speaker would do it. I had collaborated with him on a number of successful projects and share a cordial relationship. He is showing his grammar muscles right here. He uses the past tense to talk about a specific thing in the past because they're finished, and then he's also using present simple to talk about his relationship. By the way, I do see One Tripper Wonders. Thank you for joining, and let me answer your question. One Tripper said, so how should we introduce ourselves if I'm talking to my manager? We're actually going to look at that in a moment in the model essay. So we'll get to that in 1 second. Hold that question. Great question. All right. The other few things in grammar that I want to point out, have decided using present perfect correctly here. He's using this to talk about a present result from a previous thing. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot to mention, all of this is shared with you guys. There is a link in the description of the video so that you guys can actually join and read the document on your phone or your tablet while you're watching the live stream to make sure, just in case it's a little bit blurry or hard to see in the live stream, or if you want to be looking at it in your own time. All right. I will be soliciting. This is the ing form, and it is passive voice. So future continuous passive voice. So future continuous tense in the passive voice, beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And then he did it again here. Also, he was making sure that he was saying what he will be doing in terms of the arrangement. So he matched it to the prompt you will have to make. All right. Like I said, you guys can find this essay in the description, and you guys can steal these sentences if you want. Again, you wouldn't be using this tone, the grammar or the vocabulary, with a less formal essay, like if you were writing it to your friends or your family, but these are great sentences to steal for any formal work emails. Okay, and we already fixed this you would have to say, and again, I'm going to use a different color to make it clear for you. I had collaborated with him on a number of projects. You always collaborate with people. So you could say, since we had collaborated on a number of projects was fine, or you could say, since I had collaborated with him on a number of successful projects. Okay. So, grammar, fantastic. Vocab, pretty good. Some mistakes dropped him down, but it was pretty darn good. And again, the task achievement would have been perfect if he had noticed it was your manager. Make sure you are highlighting or underlining the important things when you're looking at your prompt. All right, let's look at the model essay. And I'm not gonna lie, I also missed your manager when I was looking at his essay, which means my model essay may not be perfect. We are going to find out in a second, and then we will fix it if need be. So, again, to your manager about a party, so you have to say that it's a party, and you want to organize, so you haven't done it yet. You need to say why, where, when, and the arrangements. So let's take a look. Again, if there is, oh, hey Mohammed, welcome. If you guys have any questions at all, feel free to just ask. Me or Phil will take care of you. So, I'm writing to follow up a conversation we had the other day regarding an end to project party. Now, this is an example of a 9. So there's going to be a lot of nuance here. There's going to be a lot of complexity with the ideas and how they link together that you are not expected to do. There are different kinds of people who need to take general training. Generally, if you are just going over for a short time, or if you're going to see family, the people who need general training usually only need a 5 or a 5.5. I know, I'm also very jealous. It's not that hard to get a 5 or a 5.5. And a lot of people do. So, for example, if Theo here, if he needed to immigrate just to go to live with the family or something, and he only needed a 5.5, you know, he could take the exam tomorrow. Unfortunately, I have a feeling that Theo is in the second camp, which is where you take the general training because you're immigrating to a country that has a point-based immigration system. Canada is a great example of this. To immigrate to Canada, you need to get X number of points. Maybe you need 80 points or 90 points, and once you have enough points, you can immigrate there and become a citizen. It's very nice. It's a good system to have. Different things give you different points, and one of them is your English ability. And so for people who are immigrating to Canada, they want to have the highest score possible to give them the most number of points. And this is why I am showing you a 9. You don't need to write a 9. Almost no one ever needs a 9, but I just wanted to show you what it would look like. So, I'm writing to follow up a conversation we had the other day regarding the end of project party. I'm saying that it is a party, and I am also saying what kind of party. I'm also implying that we talked before. So I'm showing we had a conversation before, and I'm not saying who the manager is because it's an email. It's implied. We both know who it is. You'd asked me to get back to you when I had some more concrete details. Nice vocabulary here. Which is why I am sending this email. This is the exact same thing that Theo had done with his first sentence. I'm writing to inform you about. He used more formal language. Because it's to my boss, my manager, I'm being semi-formal instead of extremely formal, because I already have a relationship with him. Now, you could choose to be very formal with your boss. This is especially true in many Asian countries like China, Taiwan, and Japan, where you don't have a semi-formal relationship with your boss. If you want it to be extremely formal, that's perfectly fine. However, in the West, in America, Canada, and the UK, generally we are semi-formal with our bosses, which is why this is okay. Alright, so my first paragraph has a very clear purpose. I'm reminding him about why I'm sending this email. Just like Theo had done. Great job, Theo. Next paragraph. And I also want to point out to you guys that one thing about being a native speaker and going for a 9 is that the word count doesn't really matter that much. What I mean by that is you only need to write 150 words for task 1. That's all you need to do. But if you're a native speaker, or if you are a 9, you're going to do that easily. You're going to blow through 150 words in 15 minutes. It's not difficult for people who are 9, and so they will say more. That is why there's more here. You don't need to write exactly like I do. You don't need to write as much as I do. Theo did a very good job of being close to 150 words with his essay and hitting all the points. Look at Theo's essay for a better example of 150 words. Okay, so as you know, we all worked very hard to complete the latest expansion of our game. This is what I mean about being creative, okay? Which is something that's hard for a lot of people. I am talking about a game. The prompt didn't say anything about a game. This came from my head. This came from my imagination. And you also need to be creative, even if you're aiming for a 5, a 5.5, or 6.5. This is why I say that task 1 for general training is somewhat harder than task 1 for academic. Okay. Burnt out is a nice high-level word. By the way, if there's any vocabulary or sentence structures here that you don't understand, feel free to ask. And I know that you may not need a 9, but I hope you guys can see how these ideas are connected and what vocab and grammar you're able to steal from it. Okay. So, I talked about the game, and we are burnt out. We are out of energy. I think you would agree, using some grammar here, that this party is well deserved, especially with the most recent sale indicators. So this whole paragraph is saying why we should have a party. We should have a party because we worked hard, we finished our game, and we are making money. A party would be a great way to raise morale. This is a nice collocation you can steal and get us motivated for working on the next one. Okay. Again, if you guys have any questions, just let me know in the chat. Okay. Alright, so this whole paragraph is answering the question why we want this party. Next up. Obviously, the sooner we have this party, the better. This is an example of the sooner, the better. The sooner A, the better. And then as I'm connecting ideas, most people go on holiday after the major release. I'm saying why. I'm adding extra details to explain why this is better. So I'm thinking this upcoming Friday afternoon. I say exactly when it will happen. And I'm not just saying that it will happen at this time. It's a suggestion. Okay. So again, this is something that will gain you points if you do it yourself, if you do it correctly. You're not only using basic grammar to communicate easy basic ideas, you're giving suggestions. You're having a dialogue or a conversation. I also have, while we could save money and have it in the lobby of the office, this is a special thing here. I would strongly recommend that you give me a budget to rent out the nice hotel across the road. So I'm saying exactly where it's happening. And again, because it's not set in stone, it is a conversation I'm asking. And again, this is tied in to you want to organize. So it's not 100% finished yet. It's something that's in the air. It's something that's being planned, which is why I'm giving suggestions to my boss instead of saying when and where it will happen. Again, this is something that's the difference between a 7 and an 8 or a 9. They can understand these differences. All right. And then I gave reasons for this location: fantastic buffet and a dance floor, because it's a party. And again, I'm reiterating, I'm saying again why we should do it. Finally, I've already made this is the third paragraph is answering this one. Is that the third? Fourth. The fourth paragraph is answering the arrangements I have to make. So this was kind of answered here because I've put this suggestion. I've already made a call to the hotel and they aren't booked. If you decide to take this route, this is important because remember, the manager needs to give the okay. The manager needs to say it is okay for this party to happen, which is why I'm using this grammar. If you decide to take this route. And then I say another benefit of why we should do it. So finally, I still need to send out the invitations and contact accounting. Finally, I have a nice little thing. Again, I'm trying to persuade the boss to let us have this party, so everyone is really happy. I sincerely hope that you acquiesce to my request. This is a very, very, very high level word that I used. You do not need to use this word, but it basically means I hope you agree with me. I hope you say yes. Okay. And then kind regards, this is another way you can end a general training writing, task 1. And then not gonna lie, I totally stole this idea from Theo, and I said that I am an executive existent, which is another way of saying the secretary. So I'm not gonna lie, I did steal this. Theo had some excellent had some excellent ideas in his essay. He did a lot of things right. He made 2 or 3 vocabulary mistakes that stopped everything from being super high. If he had done those correctly, he would have had a 7 across the board, but not quite. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the model essay. Again, we have already shared this. We have put the link into the description, so you guys can already copy and paste it there. It is also in chat. Okay. It is also right there in chat, so that you guys can go and look at it at your own, copy and paste sentences. If you guys want to try to steal some of these sentences from either Theo's great examples or from my model essay, you can change the sentences for your own situation and then put them in the chat and we can fix them. Or you can email us, again, at corrections@theieltsgrind.com. Again, that is in the description. Now, feel free to send us your own essays. Again, if you want academic, send us some academic essays. If you want general training, send us those. We can do both. And finally, it is time for brainstorming. Now, this brainstorming section does require some interaction from you guys. So, unfortunately, if the chat is not very lively, if not a lot of people are talking and joining, we will end it here. But if you guys do interact and you guys are giving suggestions and advice, then we can keep this going for as long as we need. And again, this brainstorming is the thing that causes the most grief. This is the thing that most students hate the most, is coming up with ideas. So, with that being said, unfortunately, Naz, we are not, because we do not have an academic writing task that has been submitted. If you guys want, send us a academic writing task and we will be happy to do it. Just for you, Naz. So send us one and we will look over it for you. We are eager to help. Yes. But Naz, for you, we are going to be doing brainstorming for this task 2. So don't go away yet. We can help you out. In fact, let's do this one really fast so we can move to the task 2. So, first of all, we need to think what kind of party. Also, why we should have it. And what I want you guys to do right now is just together come up with some of these ideas. I'm going to give you guys about 3 minutes. So it will be 3 minutes of silence as you guys come up with 2 things. I want you guys to come up with answers to these parties for your own essays. And then I also want you to come up with more questions that could help you come up with more answers. Okay, and Naz says he has sent it. So we will probably look at that tomorrow or the next time. Yes. Okay, so I will give you guys 3 minutes to do some brainstorming here. And by the way, you can send us more than one essay if you'd like. Also, one thing that we are going to do is if you sent us an essay and we talked about it, we had a live stream about it, you can send us the same essay again if you have tried again to show us that you understood what we talked about before. Obviously, if we are going over something that we've already had a live stream on, it will be a lot faster. We'll just point out the main things to keep working on. But that is something that I'd like to start doing in these classes, where you guys resubmit. You submit the same essay again after you have tried to fix it. Because that is how improvement happens. So again, you guys have 2 to 3 minutes to come up with answers to these questions or more questions. And then after that, we will do the same thing with task 2. Don't be shy, guys. Any answer is okay. And remember, as soon as we're done with task 1, we will do the same with task 2. And task 2 is the same for both the for both academic and general training. Okay, it looks like our students are a little bit too shy today. Just for people who watch this video in the future, I will put some up. Phil, can you give me some great answers while I add some more questions? Alright, Phil, help me out. Give me some answers to help our shy students. Oh no. My monotone voice was so boring that it put Phil to sleep too. Oh, I'm so sad. Hopefully when I get the camera tomorrow, you guys will be a lot more engaging once you see my happy face. Okay, nice. A Christmas party. Or a holiday party. A retirement party. Nice. Ooh, a launch party for a project. I like that one. These are fantastic. And I hope you guys can see that if you ever need to write about a party for a workplace in the future, these are all great. How about why we should have it? Which one of these parties do you think we should focus on? A baby shower for a coworker, maybe. A wrap party. Is it spelled with a W or is it just R-A-P for filming? Okay, so there are even better ones in the chat. Thank you, Phil. And let's choose one. Let's do a retirement party. Actually, Theo did a retirement party. We did a end of project party. So how about a holiday party? Ah, that is a terrible color. Sorry, guys. I hope I didn't hurt your eyes. A birthday party, a wedding party. A birthday party for a coworker is really good. Now, a wedding party is very similar to the same a breakup party. Oh no. Some of these things are a little bit too personal for the workplace. So unfortunately, I do not think that there would be a wake, which is a party for someone who has died. I don't think there will be a breakup party or a wedding party at the office unless it is like the boss. If maybe the boss or the company owner is getting married, maybe that will become a party at work. But thank you for those suggestions. That was fantastic. A breakup party. I want to write an essay about a breakup party now. Poor Michael has broken up. He's inconsolable. Is that the word? He can't stop crying. We need to have a party to make him feel better. That's great. Okay, so we have a holiday party. Now we need to think about why we should have that holiday party. Ooh, a farewell party. That would probably be a little bit better to call it a retirement party. I guess a farewell party would work. Yeah, you could call it a farewell party. Most of the time, though, someone's... Yeah, you know what? That's actually perfectly fine. There are people who leave companies... There are people who leave companies who aren't retiring or dead or being fired. So I guess if people like have a lot of friends and they're moving to another company, yeah, that makes sense. A farewell party. Now, let's focus on a holiday party. Can you guys think of reasons why we should have it? And if you want to do it for a different party, that's perfectly fine. Just let us know in chat. No, Phil, I will not leave Robin. I'm sorry. She's stuck with me forever. That being said, it was my birthday on May 25th, so if you guys want to give me a birthday present, hit that like button. That's so YouTubey. Or share it with a friend who you know wants to pass the IELTS exam. That would be a great birthday present for me. Now, why should we have a holiday party? Phil, you can take the lead. And then the rest of you, if you guys are feeling brave or have come up with some ideas, let us know. So, Phil said cheese. I don't know if that's a reason for a party to happen. Uh, or maybe he's saying that what I am saying is cheesy, which means cringy or a little awkward. Holiday party. It's highlighted. Again, sorry for the delay, guys. Next stream, and again, this will be tomorrow at the same time, 7 p.m. We will have a. It will be led by me again, doing another writing. Okay. Mamata, thank you so much for putting that in chat, and welcome, by the way. I would change the wording of that a little bit. Your grammar was fine. Just for the idea, I would probably say we can show Michael. We'll say that Michael is. Oh, this is a holiday party. So for Mamanta, I would probably say that's okay for a retirement party or a farewell party. But again, for this one, I would probably say, so we can let them, so we'll say Michael. Michael's leaving the company. How much we appreciated them or will miss them. Glad to have you, Mamata. Thank you for being brave and putting that forward. Yes. Can you guys think, why should we have a holiday party? If I'm the boss and I don't like to spend money, you guys need to persuade me why we should have a holiday party. So you guys are all working for the IELTS Grind. Congratulations, you're hired. And Phil, we have payroll that we have to deal with now. And you guys need to tell me why we should have this holiday party. What do you guys think? Thank you, One Tripper. Yes, that's right. Invite your friends to give me a birthday present. I know it's tough. Michael is a very scary boss. Ooh, nice one, Leonardo. To build a sense of community, or to bring the team together, or to build a sense of belonging. I think that would work. Belonging amongst the team. And finally, a high level way that you can say this is Yes, and Phil's comment is hilarious. We're having this party because I'll write that one now. Because we aren't giving you any bonuses this year. So are you guys going to stick around in the company if you guys aren't going to get any bonuses? Tax write-off. Yes, to save money. Sorry, there was a high-level way to say what Leonardo said that I'm trying to think of. To build a sense of community, to help develop or solidify the company culture. And develop has no E. I always add an E, I don't know why. Okay. So synonyms for a farewell party. If they are leaving because they are going to stop working, that's obviously a retirement party. Phil, would we say a goodbye party? Would we say a goodbye party? Robin, would we say a goodbye party? Yes. So a farewell party or a goodbye party. Both of those work. Thank you for asking those questions, by the way, One Tripper and Mamanta. Okay, now unfortunately we aren't going to spend too much time, but I hope you guys see that we came up with all of these ideas because we were working together. Oh, a going away party. Oh no, I said a goodbye party. Don't say goodbye party. It's a going away party. Thank you, Robin. So, we have been having our classes at 7 p.m. Taiwan time, which is GMT, every day. Next week, we are going to mix some things up because, and by the way, stick around because we're going to do brainstorming for the task 2 in one moment. But I want you guys to know that for this, for our classes, we will still have some at night. Phil will be leading those. But there have been a number of you guys who let us know that you would like morning classes. So starting next week, there will be some morning classes, but you guys need to tell us in the community tab. So go to the IELTS Grind. You'll be brought here first. Hi. And then go to the community tab. And we have a poll that says, what time do you want to join us live on YouTube? And a lot of you guys are saying in the morning. So next week we are going to be having some morning ones, and we will still have some evening ones that will be led by Phil. Okay. Yes. So you guys, this is still open. So if you guys want to let us know by clicking when you're free, and then also if you want to leave a comment to tell us where you're from, and then also a specific time, like for example 7 to 9 p.m. or 10 to 11 a.m., along with your country so we know what time to be using, we are going to try to match your guys' schedule. So let us know in the community tab where you're from and then what time you're free. All right. So unfortunately, we aren't going to do the rest of this for task 1, but I hope you guys see that a really useful thing to do is to get together with other people to brainstorm. This is the best way to come up with ideas. It is a skill. Being able to think of new ideas in a short time is a skill that you can develop. And you can develop it if you do the same thing with classmates or other people who are studying the IELTS exam at the same time. Because you will hear new ideas from them and you will start to learn to think like they do. And they will learn to think like you, which will mean that you will have more and more great ideas to come up with. So that is why we have a Discord channel. Okay. If we go to the live stream. Again, down in the description, we have the document where you guys can go and look at the notes that we had, along with a Discord channel. Now, I highly recommend you guys go to the Discord channel, accept the invite, continue to Discord. Okay. You guys can join us here and join us in the chat. Now, I already have an account, which is why I'm getting this, but it's really easy to make an account. The great thing about Discord is that it's completely free, and you guys can jump on and just start chatting. You don't need to actually verify your account before you start chatting in our group. Alright, so we recommend that you come to general chat and start brainstorming ideas. We're actually probably going to create a new channel just for brainstorming ideas for task 1 and brainstorming ideas for task 2. Alright, but let's get back to this. Now, again, we're going to do the same thing, but this is for task 2. And remember, task 2 is both for general training and for academic IELTS. Both types of the IELTS test have the same task 2. So what we need to do first is we need to make sure that we're coming up with the right thesis. So when you're writing your thesis, what kind of essay is this? Do you guys know? Leave in the chat if you know what kind of essay this is. And if you guys are too slow, then Phil will let me know. This is actually the essay that we will be talking about tomorrow. So let us know. Let's see. Remember, you guys can also join by looking at the description. But what kind of essay is this? Oh, that's so ugly. Ooh, thank you guys so much for making these guesses. This is not an advantages and disadvantage essay. If this was advantage and disadvantage essay, it would say discuss the advantages and disadvantages of this. Now, it is very tricky. A lot of students are tricked by this. Strike through. So I want you guys to see that this is not an, this is exactly, do you think? This is the most important thing. This is asking, do you think the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? So this is actually an opinion essay. So because we know this is an opinion essay, we need to say what our opinion is. So, how about we get a poll of this? This is saying that business meetings, discussions, and training are happening online. So, do the advantages of having these things happen online outweigh the disadvantages of having them happen online? Or do you think that there are more disadvantages of these things moving online than advantages? What do you guys think? If you think that there are more advantages, say, I think there are more advantages. If you think that there are more disadvantages, say, I think there are more disadvantages. Please let us know in the chat. And Phil, how about you let me know your opinion, and then if we have too many shy students, we will go with what you say. Robin says there are more disadvantages. Okay. How about you, Phil? What do you think? And more advantages. Oh no. We have one person saying more disadvantages, one person saying more advantages, so we need one student to break the tie. Thank you, Leonardo. Yes. So we're going to go with more disadvantages. By the way, one quick thing that I want to point out is, what do you guys think is more important? Oh man, more. So it is mostly, I'm sorry, Phil, everyone disagrees with you. But I want to have one note here that I want you guys to remember. The IELTS exam is not testing your intelligence, it's not testing your morals, it's testing your ability to communicate or say something in English. So my question for you is that, should you write the essay that is more interesting, or should you write the essay that is easier to write? Which essay do you think is better for you? Should you write the more interesting essay or the essay that is easier to write? Let's take this one for example. If you say that there are more advantages than disadvantages, is that easier to write than are there more advantages than disadvantages? Okay, so just to put an end to what I just said, you should always choose to write the essay that is easier to write, not the more interesting one. Even if you have some really interesting ideas about the topic, but they're difficult to explain in your second language, in English, you should not write that essay. Instead, you should write the essay that maybe you personally disagree with, but is easier to explain. Always choose the easier one to explain, because that will mean you have less mistakes. Now, for Leonardo, to explain this question again, let me write a very clear thesis so that everyone can understand. So, my thesis, you guys all said that there are more disadvantages, or most of you did, except for Phil and someone who felt bad for Phil. So we're going to say, I think, because this is an opinion essay, I think that there are more disadvantages to doing business communication and training online than there are advantages. This is your thesis. This is the essay that you need to write, unless you're Phil, because Phil disagrees. So again, it's really important that you're saying I think, because this is an opinion essay. So opinion essay, I think. There are more disadvantages than there are advantages. Okay, this is our thesis. This is directly answering this question. So, do you think that there are more I think that there are more disadvantages of doing business, communication, and training online. Okay. So, now that we have a really clear thesis, and this is what I recommend my students always do. You guys should always have a very clear thesis when you're brainstorming, so that you know exactly what you are going to be writing about, to make sure that you don't go off topic. Next, we need to come up with big ideas. Okay, big ideas are these ideas that we have that will support our thesis. So, Mamata, that is a very good question. Mamata is asking if we can use demerit in place of disadvantage. In this sentence, no, because demerit and disadvantage are not exact synonyms. They have very similar meanings, but they can't always be used in the same way. So it is a good question that you asked, and this is something that you should look out for. One thing that you guys should do is to keep reading. The more that you read, the more you will see how words are used naturally. Just using a synonym, a thesaurus to find synonyms, or Google to find synonyms is not enough. You need to see how to use these words. So, excellent question, Mamata. Okay. And Phil has also explained it in the chat as well. All right, but next up, we need to come up with big ideas. So right now, the first thing that you should always do is come up with a lot of big ideas that can support this. These, when I say big ideas, these would be the main idea in body 1 and body 2. And we should come up with more than 5 or 6 of them so that we can choose which ones we want to write. Leonardo, yes, I would recommend this. There is space on the back of the prompt paper or the bottom of the prompt paper where you can brainstorm out your ideas. Now, if you are, actually, even if you are a native speaker, you should still be planning out your essay. Now, obviously, you would delete it or move it to the bottom of your essay if you're taking the computer test. But I do recommend that you use this format to brainstorm new ideas. It's important that you brainstorm ideas, and then it's also important that you organize the ideas before you start writing. There was one time when I took a mock IELTS exam, and I am a native speaker, and I am a good writer, and I am a fast writer. And I had an essay, and I had 40 minutes to write test 2, and I did a terrible job. The reason why I did a terrible job is because I did not plan out my essay. I was just writing off the top of my head. And because of that, I wrote a lot. I wrote 400, 500, 600 words. But I became tangential. I wasn't really on topic. Planning works. The best way to write good essays is to learn how to plan your essays well. Also, for Mamata's question, you can repeat a word a few times, but you shouldn't rely on the same words again and again and again. Actually, the best way to fix the problem that you're really asking is to use referencing. Instead of saying synonyms every time, if you use referencing, that often solves the problem. Okay, bye Mamata, thanks for joining, and we look forward to seeing you in the future. Okay, but big ideas. Can we think of any big ideas for why there are more disadvantages? what are the disadvantages? That's probably the best way to do it. What are the disadvantages and what are the advantages? And how do the disadvantages outweigh it? Thanks for joining me, Mata. Hope to see you in the future. So how about we just start with this? What are some disadvantages of doing everything online? Okay, I have put 2 up here. Can you guys add some more? And these are big ideas. To tell you the difference between a big idea and a little idea, I would add the supporting details underneath this. Okay, and the IELTS Grind. Phil had another good one. There are longer work hours. Nice. Can we think of 3 more together? And then I think Phil was saying that as a detail under longer work hours. Okay. All right. Any more suggestions? Okay. And for the advantages, flexible work hours. Now, I do want to point this out. It is, by the way, yes, stay safe, Mata. Okay. I do want to point this out. It is perfectly fine to come up with advantages, but I want to remind you, just so that you don't make a mistake of just having an advantage in your essay when it doesn't fit, you should always come up with why it doesn't matter. So, but this actually leads us to work more. Can't turn off. Boss can always find you. Okay. So even though flexible work hours is an advantage, I'm saying how it's not that big of an advantage. Because remember, this needs to be in line. This needs to agree with my thesis. If I just had in body 2, there are lots of advantages like flexible work hours. That is not a good body 2. So this would be bad. This is good. Okay. And so next up, ability to work around the world in real time. Yes. So that is another advantage. Easier to reach clients around the world. Because there's that expectation. That's exactly right. All right. So Momata has said goodbye. Leonardo was giving some great additions here, but it looks like there isn't too much activity in chat. Remember, guys, for this to keep going, I need to see some energy in chat. I need to see some people throwing out suggestions. So are there any more big ideas that you guys can think of? I'll give you guys 2 more minutes to see if there are any more. By the way, you guys have been great so far. Thank you for joining us. Okay, and I think that this will bring us to the end of the live stream. Thank you for everyone who has joined. You guys have been awesome. I hope that you guys found this useful. I hope that you guys saw how we can start to brainstorm for task 1 for general training, and how important it is to try to work with people to learn how they think so you can start stealing their ideas. And then also how important it is to have a very clear thesis and also brainstorm before you start writing. We have done just some light brainstorming today. We will do more in the future. What we have here is great. Again, you have access to this document in the description. You can check it at any time. It has everything that we did today. If you guys remember only one thing from today's class, I hope you guys remember, you should always plan before you start writing. Thank you again, Theo, for having given us this wonderful essay to review. You guys have been great, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow when we look at an essay about this topic. Remember, you guys can send your own essays about this topic to contact at the corrections at the IELTSgrind.com. Send it here and we will do it for you. We will put it up here and we will tell you exactly what you need to improve, how to improve it, and what score you will probably get. Thanks again for stopping in, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Remember, Phil, tomorrow's a break for you, so lucky. All right, see you guys then. Bye.